Hello, betting special fans. I'm Kyle Bossman.
And I'm Brandon Jones.
And this is the 2017 Nintendo Switch Presentation 2017 Betting Special Results Show. Now, this year we had new competitors. Six brand new competitors. Jones, who do we see this year?
A new wave, a new era, as Ultimate Brad loves to say.
This is the dawn of a new era.
I wonder if the kind of recklessness that Ultimate Brad presented kind of led to where we are right now.
I'm positive it did.
In this division. But yeah, definitely some colorful people. I'll read them off if you're ready.
Sure.
Starting off with Cold Blooded, who, I mean, talk about presence.
A terrifying presence.
Talking about commitment, to character and, of course, to his bets. An unrepentant bossman. Which
just a nasty man.
A nasty man. I mean, we're familiar with Bossman, but this is
say like Cold Blooded was consistent. I would have to say unrepentant Bossman, very inconsistent. I really didn't know where he was going with whatever his actions were.
Maybe that in and of itself is the persona. We'll have to wait. I am curious to see what's going on there, but I'd be lying if I said I want to see more of unrepentant Bossman. Rainy Day Ian. Which I really appreciate.
A crowd favorite.
A crowd favorite, definitely. Amongst all of the artists out there, I thought obviously was a ray of sunshine among the competitors, but was also I think a drastic leap forward for Ian as a performer. Punished Huber, which is tough to see.
Yes.
You hate to see something like that happen.
Honestly, right. I've won bets against Huber many times in the past. I've never done anything that has affected him so deeply as the Giants' clothes did. He was affected, clearly, and what you see in Punished Huber is not an act.
But the question is, and that's what we're here to find out, is whether that pain, the frustration, will translate into action. You know, is this going to be a comeback for Huber?
Will he have his redemption?
Or is he going to continue to punish himself? And will others? Is he doing mostly the punishing, or is it other people punishing him?
The punishment is over. Punished.
Okay, so we're in the past tense.
Yes.
With punished. Tough to watch. Benzilla.
Wow.
Fierce.
Oh, what a surprise.
Understated, but
yes.
fierce. Intimidating, stoic, but quiet at the same time.
Not afraid to speak his mind, though.
Sure, but not aggressive. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel that the performers up there were any kind of like danger from bodily harm. But there was a lot of tense moments there, thanks to Benzilla.
Though, when I heard Benzilla say, "You look tasty," I was afraid he might eat someone.
I don't think he'll get to that point. Because keep in mind, this is the first time we're seeing these people. So
Yes.
I don't think Benzilla is really going to come out of the gate and just immediately harness his killer instincts,
Sure.
and devour right away.
I was scared.
But E3 is coming up. So maybe like we said before, we haven't stated yet who won this whole thing. So this could be Benzilla just tearing through the downtown Tokyo that is Easy Allies. And finally, Brand Manager. Which
another crowd favorite.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Because I have to wonder what kind of power Brand Manager does have, because a lot. I definitely see a commitment amongst these characters to the great sport that is event betting.
Yes.
And I just don't feel Brand Manager's taking it seriously. I think I won't go so far as to say conspiracy, but I think there's more going on there. I didn't like how Ultimate Brad and Brand Manager were kind of coalescing throughout there. I thought that was unprofessional.
Okay.
That might have just been staging, the way that they were ordered and numbered.
Honestly,
that just happened. The Brand Manager was standing right next to Ultimate Brad.
The way I perceive it is that Brand Manager has no allegiance to anyone, but will fake one.
Sure.
To get a leg up.
Okay.
And I think it's part of his embracing the sleaziness is his power, is his strength. He's gone all in.
It seems that way, but I just, I don't want to become invested in this because I think you and I should remain impartial.
Absolutely.
Because we really are on the outside of this thing, but
yeah, we have no dogs in this race.
I just don't want to see Brand Manager taking this.
Sure.
I don't feel comfortable having Brand Manager being a champion. I don't feel he's champion material. But these all are potential champions that we have before us who are competing against our current standing champion in a tremendous upset, Ultimate Brad, who is just really taking charge this year. Is really pushing himself to the forefront.
Currently owns the Slusser Cup, and the purpose of this betting special was to see who will compete against Ultimate Brad at E3 to regain the Slusser Cup.
It's time to find out.
Okay, so round one was simple bets. This was a phase in which someone could pick up a bet. They won't have to bet on that bet. They saved themselves from that bet and posed it to the 4 other competitors who were not involved with writing that bet. With round one, we saw Bloodworth, Cold-Blooded, go first, pulled my question, and said, "Will the word Metroid be spoken?" Ian said yes. Huber said yes. Ben said yes. Jones said no.
And I think what we have right here is a classic case of business versus heart. You know, clearly you have 3 fans that are hurt.
Yeah.
That want to see something happen.
Think, Nintendo obviously
that are-
Metroid.
Right.
Yeah.
They're getting in kind of a euphoric dream state.
Yes.
Which is easy to happen. You know, I think you pick any one of the people out of that lineup, and you can find some kind of event.
Yes.
That they will let thoughts and feelings, emotions like that cloud their judgment.
And Jones, I mean, I wrote that bet. I'll be honest, that was a trap.
Sure.
I was pretty certain Metroid would not be spoken, and I was pretty certain that some would fall for it.
Were there bets that you wrote in this special that weren't traps?
No.
Okay.
You gotta write them as hard as possible. You have to set traps.
This is true.
So it turns out, obviously, no, Metroid was not spoken. Brand manager gets 1 point on the board, the only point on the board after that first bet.
So here we are, brand manager in the lead.
Yes.
Right at this moment.
Right out of the bat. Right out the gate.
So if we were to to experience brand manager being the leader or possibly enjoy that for a moment, that time would be now.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, number 2.
Next up was Unrepented Bossman, pulled Huber's question, will Wario reveal himself? I thought that was a cheap question. When I say I want to set traps, that means make a hard question. Will Wario reveal himself is easy. Mario Kart already a part of the reveal of the Switch.
And not to stall things, if I may, but that is one thing that I've noticed is a trend coming up with these bets is that the difficulty of suggesting something like a Metroid, which, as far as we're concerned, has they haven't teased its involvement in the Switch so far, versus the bets that directly relate to something like a Smash Brothers, like a Kart, like a Splatoon that we know is going to be there. But how deep will we be immersed?
And so, Jones, you said yes, Ben said yes, Ian said yes. Obviously, Wario was going to be there. Bloodworth said no for some reason.
Cold answer.
Cold answer. The answer was yes. We did see Wario, not in any gameplay, but we did see him on a mini-map within Mario Kart 8 Deluxe gameplay. Now, I've had to pose this to Damiani, our referee, just to make sure that counted. Here's what he said. Yes, because Wario is actually on that stage, the icon just alerts us that he's there. The wording does not state a full body Wario must appear on screen to count, so any image of Wario, 2D, 3D, partial, full body, etc. counts to me. Points for Ian, Ben Moore, and Brandon Jones. So, that leaves us with Brand Manager at 2 points in the lead.
Still in the lead.
Still in the lead at that point.
With Benzilla stomping down the street towards him.
Yes.
Definitely some tension here, but also deserves to be. I mean, obviously, we must give credit to our referee, Mr. Michael Damiani, and must stress the importance of a referee and the potential differences depending on who the referee is.
It gets dirtier than this.
I don't know how I would rule on that. I'm kind of on the fence about that. Yeah, because you use the word reveal
himself,
and that's
very broad.
If there is a radar system or a mini map that is tracking you, and we can't tell that you are there, that's a reveal.
You've revealed yourself. I just want to acknowledge one awkward thing is that all the scores are written in last names and not the performers' names.
Right.
But I'm just going to stick with it.
Oh, okay.
So our next question was Rainy Day Ian pulled a question from Benzilla. Will the phrase, you're a kid now, you're a squid now, reveal itself? This is a bad bet. That's just sloppy.
But again, this is diving deep. We know Splatoon's going to be there.
Yes.
We know we're going to see a trailer, but
they're not going to use that song again. No, obviously not.
Maybe in the the eyes of a brand manager, he would imagine something like that we saw. Popular tracks, some sound effects, new stages, just your average gameplay montage.
It was a bad bet, and with
certainly nothing in narration. Certainly nothing. No one is going to stay on stage.
When Ben wrote that question,
unlikely,
he handed points away. So there was a sweep. Everybody said no, 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 no. The answer was no, that phrase did not appear. So we're now at Bloodworth 1, Bossman 1, Hink 1, Huber 1, Moore 1, Jones 3.
Commanding lead, but everyone is on the board.
Yes, finally everyone has points.
This is a legitimate competition now.
The fourth question, this was from Blood. Blood wrote this question, Huber plucked it. Will Wave Race be shown in any form? So that's a nice question, kind of. It's not necessarily too easy.
Right, but not likely in all capital letters.
Yes. Right. If you're pulling a question that's got a 75% chance of being no, don't write it.
But you want Huber to dream.
Sure.
If Huber shows up in any form, punished or not, I want him to be dreaming. I want him to be taking those leaps.
Here's the thing. Huber read the question, didn't have to bet.
Right.
The bettors were all wise. Again, no's across the board. Again, no wave race, obviously. So, points. We're now at Bloodworth 1, Bossman 2, Hink 2, Huber 1, Moore 2, Jones 4. Jones, you got 4 out of 4 right. Brand manager swept round 1.
Yeah.
maximum amount of points, nailed them each.
And I think it shows the strength of having somebody in command of the brand to look at these things, because these are, granted, these are bets around at events. This is all marketing.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of very specific marketing language going on, you know, here. Which characters to show, whether to pick on certain franchises. If you bring something like a Splatoon, is a slogan like that important, for fans to identify,
Obviously
especially
not.
in a sequel? Are you going to use the same slogan going into another game?
Yep.
Unlikely.
To Ben's credit, leading in, we did think it would be a remaster and not necessarily Splatoon 2, which wasn't leaked until a couple of days before. Not worth it. The fifth question. This is Ben plucked it. This is Jones wrote this. Will Waluigi speak? This includes grunts, laughs, etc. Blood said no. I said yes. Ian said yes. Huber said no. This is the most split we were in the entire round one. Now here's what happens. If you look at this thing, if you watch the presentation yourself at the 54th minute, at the 35th second of the 54th minute, you'll see Waluigi spinning around in his cart. Now, I showed that to a referee, Michael Damiani. He said he didn't hear it. Here's what Damiani said. I define speaking in a game as either audio sound or text dialogue. Mouth moving does not equal speech unless there are audio/text words. So, if you can isolate the sound and play it, and I determine that is Waluigi's voice, I'll accept that. However, as I hear it now, I don't hear Waluigi or see text from him, even though the sound is up during this clip, by the way. Damiani refuses to believe that perhaps Waluigi was speaking, even though we know he speaks. The answer is no. Waluigi does not speak. It's a point for Blood, point for Huber.
And another example, you want to have a judge, you want to have a ref, you want to have somebody coming in and making these hard
Otherwise,
calls.
I come in and be sneaky and do this thing like that.
You win some, you lose some. It's just the way it is.
Absolutely. The next question, this was from Jones, or he's reading Ian's question. Will Link reveal herself? Again, too cute.
Herself.
Yeah, too cute.
Unlikely. I believe not something that has been shut down in the rumor department, but has been shut down on several occasions.
Yes.
It's almost seasonal at this point.
Yeah.
That we can revisit the concept and then come to terms that it simply will not happen.
The bettors bet no across the board. The answer was no. Points for all. Though I do want to make it clear, it wasn't being too cute. Ian asked me, hey, do I get a point if everyone was wrong? So to me, the answer is no. But to me, that means Ian genuinely believed there was a strong possibility of Link revealing herself. But obviously it didn't happen.
But I will say this, the one thing I can maybe put in Ian's corner, I'm going to call him Ink, I like that nickname, is Zelda obviously is going to have a big presence here.
Yeah.
Obviously is, we're all assuming it's going to be at launch.
Yeah.
So if something radical is going to happen, I wouldn't say Zelda is a sure bet or even a good bet. But that possibility definitely is there of us not having seen that thing that's really going to make Zelda a must-have.
I'm gonna say it was a bad bet. So at the end of round one, we were left with Bloodworth at 3, Bossman at 3, Hink at 2, Huber 3, Moore 3, Jones 4. So that means Brand Manager was the only person to sweep all 4, and the only person to only get 2 was Rainy Day Ian. That's where we're left at the end of round 1. Now, do you remember round 2, the dirty bets?
Just shows you where confidence and good vibes can get you in bets.
Yes.
It's not something you should do away with. It's not something you should leave behind. Yeah.
Yes.
Even if you're punished or you eat, random running civilians or you live in, subarctic temperatures, you can still have a good time.
You can still have a good time. But the betting special did not end there. Round 2 is dirty bets.
We're getting dirty.
Now these are fun. This is where you would pluck someone else's bet and you would throw it at another competitor. If that competitor had to bet, and then you say if that's too high or too low. If you are correct, you get 2 points. Incorrect, the competitor gets 2 points. Basically, you're trying to steal points from one other competitor that you choose. And the way that started was we went back in the reverse order. Brand Manager went first and posed a question to Bossman, plucked him out as a competitor, wanted to steal some points from Bossman. This was Huber's question. How many rupees will we see? Now, this had to be clarified many times. My bet was 25. Brand Manager said that was too low.
Yeah.
Assuming there would be more than 25 rupees on the field for some reason. Now, I think 25 was even too high. That was a bad bet in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, there's not 25 rupees in the Twilight Princess trailer.
I think this could potentially be an all or nothing situation. You know, it's like if we're getting rupees, let's get rupees. You know,
Sure.
let's see that moment. You know, because there's a lot of when we're shown something in Zelda, it's not just kind of like teased in the background. Like they really put that stuff front and center.
Yeah, I guess it's true. I think coming into the event, I was expecting something more than a trailer, to be honest, too. I think I was expecting some gameplay blowout. And we did get a great trailer. But you're right, not that gameplay demonstration where rupees would have happened.
I think rupees would maybe bring it back down to just like a video game level, you know, just kind of show that, oh yeah, at the end of the day, this is just a video game. And they really want to accentuate, this is a world. These are actual, you know, characters that you're
Zelda
facing.
is crying.
This is a story you're living.
Rupees would have been weird.
In a story you're living trailer, there's no room for rupees. There's no question.
So that's 2 points for Bossman, who now has the lead with 5 points.
Yep.
However, the second question, Benzilla posed this toward Rainy Day Ian, called Rainy Day Ian out. The question was written by Bloodworth. How many fire flowers will appear? Rainy Day Ian said 6. Benzilla said that is too high. Thought that was ridiculous that there would be 6 fire flowers. I guess thinking they're antiquated within Mario games. However, again, we knew Mario Kart was going to be part of the Switch launch. Nintendo said and showed Mario Kart. And this is what I had to pose to referee Damiani. Do the fire flowers that scroll through the little item circle in the upper left-hand corner, do those count? Here's his judgment. Icons in the Mario Kart item box window count, since it just asks how many fire flowers will appear. It also helps that those would be usable items if they were given the item, if they were the item given to Mario. So it's not just an icon. The item box only holds one of each item, though. It's just easier to get certain ones than others, hence they appear more often in the cycle. Whatever. This is hard to judge because those spin by so quickly. I counted 10-ish. Definitely more than 6. You can see them for yourselves there, spin by. You have to slow it down to 25% and then click play, pause, play, pause, play, pause to really count them. There's definitely more than 6. And so that goes to Ian. Ian now at 4 points, despite a slow round 1, has caught up to everyone else. Now, the third question, this was Punished Huber, and he wanted to take down Cold Blooded. Used Jones' question to do this. How many Switch games will star Mario? Cold Blooded came out with 4. I'm thinking, probably assumed that there would be a lot of remasters. I don't know why you would go that high.
I just don't know the fourth. Like I think a Smash Brothers, you know, would potentially be likely.
Yeah.
Obviously, this Super Mario game, which turned out to be Odyssey, and a Mario Kart would be expected. I just don't know what that fourth game is.
Yeah, maybe a sports game. Maybe
maybe we
Sunshine.
hadn't seen 1-2 Switch yet, so maybe assuming possibly the pack-in motion joypad, whatever that Joy-Con, whatever that game was going to be, Mario would star in that or make some kind of appearance, but
didn't matter.
None of the characters did.
Hubert smelled blood, said that was too high. Smelled blood is stupid. So
I'll allow it.
2 points for Punished Huber, who now has 5. Okay, next up, Rainy Day Ian. Took it right back to Benzilla, which is honestly a good strategy. If you're giving points to one person, you want to get them back the other way, assuming that they're kind of 50-50 anyway. This was my question, how many double jumps? A betting special classic.
A classic.
Okay.
An easy A staple.
So you don't see double jumps in most of the games that we saw.
No, but I tell you what I do see.
What?
A giant paragraph from Mr. Referee Damiani.
Do you want me to not? Okay, let's just say this.
The contention is coming.
Ribbon Girl double jumps. I'll just say that. Referee Damiani deliberated, saw it.
Ribbon Girl from the highly anticipated Switch launch game?
Yeah.
ARMS.
Well, not launch window.
Not launch.
I think it's
launch month.
Yes. Not even launch month.
Launch-ish.
Yeah, launch-ish.
Launch-esque.
Just like we had 10-ish
launch
fire
adjacent.
flowers. Yeah. I counted. I tried to 9 to 11. It's hard because some are like dashes where she doesn't elevate herself, but there are definitely more than 4. So, sorry, did I say Benzilla said 4 and then Rainy Day Ian said that's too low?
You've done it now.
Okay, that is what happened. And so 2 more points to Rainy Day Ian, who's now at 6, just took the lead because of the belief in double jumps. That's what I like. That's my kind of thing. Believe in double jumps, everybody.
Do you believe in double jumps or fire flowers or rupees more?
Double jumps.
Double jumps.
So the next question, oh yeah, okay. So we're back to Unrepentant Bossman. Took it straight back to Brand Manager. Oh my gosh, this one, another controversial question. How many Switch clicks will we hear during the presentation?
Clarification.
Now, this is heartbreaking, honestly, because there was a clarification made. Brand manager, I think, went over the top with the clarification. Brand manager said the Switch click has to be paired with the red logo for some reason. Jones, do you have any insight as to why that may have happened?
Well, I mean, you think about the word click. You know, I think that's the term, because it sounds like at sometimes it sounds like a metal object rolling across the floor, but other times it sounds like it's like a snap more. You know, so there's a lot of snapping that went along. There was a lot of clapping. Yeah. There was a lot of percussion-y sounds. But when you actually see specifically that animation, I mean, you have to wonder what the stakes were at this point. I mean, like, Jones is trailing behind even Ian here with 6. Yeah. And so you know what? Even if this is contentious, what is this going to earn Jones?
Jones is in the middle of the pack. Jones is right in the middle of the pack. In fact, this would tie Ian. But here's what happened. Jones said 11. 11 those would occur. Unrepentant Bossman said too high. It'd be fewer than 11. Now, there are 25 clicks of that sound effect throughout the special. However, I wrote to referee Damiani, who said if he clarified it before the bet is locked in, gotta go with Jones's definition, otherwise any clicks count. So, based off the definition of red logo with the click, there are 10 clicks with the logo.
Jones bet one too many.
Well, yeah, the 2 points goes to Bossman. Yep. And here's the thing, if you go and count it on the YouTube video, I had to triple check this because the YouTube video starts with the red logo click. I'm like, I don't remember that there. So then I went to the Twitch archive to see if it was there, and it was not there. So they added one to the YouTube archive.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, 10 clicks.
So you gotta go. So 11 in the archive.
You almost won.
But it's not the archive.
You almost got those 2 points.
Not the show.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, I wonder if they hit play and then hit record. Yeah. Or hit stream.
No.
1 second too late.
All of the YouTube branding starts with the Switch click, which we now know is accompanied by the logo. Okay, so Bossman took the lead. Now it's 7 points, way ahead. Won both of the round 2 bets, which is a huge thing to do because you're robbing those points of your competitors as well. So, lastly, we had Cold Blooded took it straight to Punished Huber with Rainy Day Ian's question: how many times will the phrase "make the switch" be said? This is dumb. This is another dumb bet. This is like, how cute will this one be?
I think at the very least, at the maximum, you can maybe get one, just kind of offhand.
Nintendo has never said "make the switch," by the way. That's just a dumb thing we repeat amongst ourselves.
Right.
They've never said it.
Right.
Huber fell for this somehow.
Again, it's the dreams. You know, it's Easy Allies has achieved somewhat of irrelevance in 2016. Yeah. Clearly Huber now is just kind of riding on that.
Like Nintendo listens to us and it's like, yeah, we'll do that.
Right, and he feels bad. He's punished. He's looking back on his transgressions. He's trying to reestablish himself as a strong betting persona. Yeah. And so I feel he's trying to kind of ride that wave of the Easy Allies, their status in the industry right now.
Honestly, when I watched this, I almost thought he was bailing. I thought he was bailing on the entire show with this bet of 3. Of course, Cold Blooded had no choice but to say that's too high. I counted 0 make the switches throughout the entire presentation.
I don't recall any at the time, and I was listening.
So, at the end of round 2, our scoring is Bloodworth 5, Bossman 7, Hink 6, Huber 5, Moore 3, Jones 4. Huge. Very tight. In fact, the next round would be double down on Don. I don't want to get there yet. I want to maximize drama. We'll save it for last.
Oh my.
So, the final round, we asked each other how much the Switch would cost. Everybody had to make a guess as to what the cheapest package for the Switch would be. Turns out there's only one anyway. Jones bet $199.99.
Reckless. Mm-hmm. Reckless.
Moore bet $249.99. Huber $299.99. Hink $299.99. Bossman $249.99. Bloodworth $299.99. The actual price of the Nintendo Switch, against all odds, $299.99. So, the way this worked out, if you were right on the money, you got 2 points. If you were $50 off, that's -1 point. If you were $100 off, that's -2 points. So I don't know how all those people guessed $299.99. I'm super jealous of that because the rumors predominantly said $249.99. I was a slave to the rumors. So was Ben, but a lot of points were handed out this round. The scoreboard now looks like this. Bloodworth 7, Bossman 6. That's the -1. Hink 8, Huber 7, Moore 2, Jones 2. You're both out.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah,
with Double Down on Don being worth 3 points. We have 4 people who are still in it right now. Still in the competition. The person who wins this may win the bet, or if one of the 2 losers who has 2 points, Ian automatically wins, basically. That's what we're left at with Double Down on Don. A tight race. Now, Double Down on Don is worth 3 points, obviously. And this was a question posed by Don Casanova live via satellite. He asked us, how many times will a word be spoken that rhymes with the word switch? Bloodworth bet 15. Bossman bet 9. Ian bet 26. Huber bet 2. Ben bet 3. And Jones bet 0. Why would brand manager say 0? 0 words that rhyme with switch.
Again, it's I think you mentioned the easiness of the bets in the beginning. I think brand manager quite simply was just getting cocky. I think brand manager's getting near the end there.
Yeah.
And it isn't just satisfied with the competitive win.
Yeah.
Really wants to hit a home run.
I bet he thought everyone else would go high.
I can get second place, or I can get so far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
And it, I think it's also the pressure sometimes being at the end of that line.
Oh, I've been there.
Being
I've been
that
there,
last bet and thinking, okay, I really want to shock people.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what managing a brand is all about. Sometimes you take your losses, but with the attention, the press that you get from that loss, it can actually put you ahead.
Even in my one-on-ones in my betting history, Jones, I've made some foolish bets that I wouldn't have outside of that environment. But you're just in that zone.
Yeah.
It gets to you. So I scoured through the presentation, listening for words that rhyme with switch. I found 4. Witch, pitch, rich, and another witch. That was it.
Which, WHICH.
Yes.
Like
a couple of which was a good number of switch rhymes. Obviously I thought it would be more. But I had to, of course, take this to referee Damiani. Because I saw a bunch of questions that said, does switch rhyme with switch? Does the noun switch, does the verb switch rhyme with the proper noun switch? And I thought that was the most foolish question I could have seen.
I agree with you, Kyle, but neither one of us are refs.
Yeah.
So,
and so I wanted to...
all we can really do is speculate.
Yeah, I wanted to honor the comment. I posed the question to referee Damiani, and I was shocked. As long as it isn't trying to rhyme the system switch with the system switch, but rhyming the system switch with any of the following approved defined definitions of switch, it would count. And then he sent me a link to the Oxford Dictionary. So basically, any use of switch that is not a proper noun counts. And then you'd say, okay, there's probably not that many more, right? It's probably not. Who would be so hacky as to do switch puns throughout their entire presentation? Do you know who would be? Nintendo.
Yeah. Specifically about 10 people.
Or 3 people 10 times.
3 people for a total of 10 times of saying switch.
10 extra switches, which apparently rhyme with switch now. Now again,
to me this is Kid Rock logic, but at the same time, you entrust your ref with making these decisions, and to me, it's not a question of wondering which is the right answer or not. We can argue about that. We could be here for hours.
Well,
Kyle.
here's the thing,
and frankly, I just don't want to do that.
Jones,
but you have to wonder: does Damiani know who directly this is going to affect for making this decision?
I truly believe he didn't. And here's the thing: I went back to him. I said, "This will be a controversial decision. Please."
Because I don't know if you were following along and doing the math at home, but this is at this moment it is coming down between 2 of our fierce competitors directly.
Yes,
for the win.
So. He did the research. He looked at what poets think. He went in.
When you drop a web link on us, that's intimidation right there.
And so Damiani found no reasonable evidence that would disprove that switch rhymes with switch.
Except it doesn't. So the total is 14, just 1 below Cold Blooded's bet, leaving us with a total of 10 points for Cold Blooded, leaving the competition behind. Goodbye, competition. Not even close. And so, the winner of the 2017 Nintendo Switch Presentation 2017 betting special is
cold-blooded.
Now, I don't want you to think that brand manager was in last place. He actually tied
For last
place with Benzilla.
with 2 points.
Yeah. So still remained on the board. Was tied with another competitor.
Yeah.
And I just want to make that clear.
I
I'm,
saw-
I'm not picking favorites here.
I
you know.
saw a lot of people complaining about my rule set, and as game designer, I really like how it played out. I love the nasty, the dirty bets, the taking away of points from other people. I think it all worked out pretty well.
I mean, you know, I'll be honest. I'm coming here for the competition. I really want to see these personalities up against each other, especially seeing so many new competitors being brought into the ring.
Yeah.
And so I like the assigning of bets. I like the the names being associated with them. So you crack open an Ian Hink envelope, you're in a different mindset than when you crack open a Kyle Bossman envelope. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, you crack open a Hink, you're getting like a cute, easy bet.
Right.
Now you know. Now you know Ben's gonna do a cute little meme for one of his bets.
But you split open a Huber envelope and things are gonna get.
You don't know
dirty.
what's coming.
Yeah.
You don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
That's why.
There's
That's
gonna
why
be a lot
I
of
did open one
emotion
those.
spilling out of that envelope.
What cold-blooded wins? Unfortunately, cold-blooded is not here right now. Is this big golden briefcase that I don't quite understand? Money in the bank.
Neither do I really, and as a commentator,
Yeah.
I probably should have looked that up.
There's a very specific, like in wrestling, it means something, but
Okay.
in betting it means something completely different. We're
Okay.
not too consistent with what you might expect this means. All it means is that cold-blooded gets the right and responsibility to compete against Ultimate
Kyle.
Brad.
It's getting really cold in here. You feel that?
Yeah.
Is that
Oh my God, it's chilly.
just me or like?
No, dude, it's super cold in here.
Wow.
Oh, it's freezing. Can you turn something on?
I don't know. Did we?
The Ultima era will not last. Brad's bets are too charged with emotion. If you want to win, you don't bet for what you want to happen. You have to be cold and calculated to analyze what will happen. Ultima Brad might think he's cool, but he's not cold-blooded. The theme for the diorama will be Dino Crisis. It does not have to be directly related to the game.
Oh my word.
Kyle, I'll be honest. I thought it was just a name. You know, I thought it was a gimmick, but I'm chilled to the core.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We should clarify that last statement.
Let's gather ourselves.
So there will be a presentation of dioramas from everyone who lost in the betting special. They must present a shoebox size.
Except for Ultimate Brad, who was outside of the competition here.
Right.
But Unrepented Bossman, Rainy Day Ian,
Yeah.
Punished Huber,
Yes.
Benzilla, and Brand Manager.
They lost
have
all
to
the
make
same.
dioramas. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dioramas coming.
Sure. So on January 31st, watch the group stream, the Easy Allies group stream on twitch.com/Easy Allies to see the presentation of these dioramas, all within the theme of Dino Crisis.
But don't necessarily have to be related to the game. And I
Yeah.
find that fascinating.
That was more chilling than anything.
So I wonder, I mean, as someone like a Michael Huber who has, continually professed his love for Dino Crisis and games of its ilk,
Yes.
I imagine would feel almost tethered,
Right.
to that franchise, to have
someone-
to represent it the best way he can.
Overly
But someone like an
creative,
Ian Hink, there's no way.
He's gonna go nuts.
We're getting. As a matter of fact, if I see dinosaurs at all in Ian Hink's diorama, I'd have to be disappointed.
We'll have to tune in to find out. Check out that stream. Check out the inevitable E3 betting
What a
special.
competition!
Yes. Wow.
Thank you
Threw
so
it
much
down.
for watching, everybody.
For Easy Allies, I'm Kyle Botsman,
And I'm Brandon Jones.
and we'll see you next time.